What's up, guys? Today's video is super exciting because it's a Q&A. Get ready with me. You guys submitted your questions on Instagram and YouTube, and there's a lot. So I'm going to get started really quickly. But before we jump in, just know that I'm not actually going to talk about any of the makeup products that I'm using. I'm going to list everything in the description box below. So if you have questions about what I'm using, just check that out. And if there are any new products that I haven't shown on my YouTube channel, I'll be sure to call that out. Okay, the first section I'm doing is the random one, and the first question is, what dinosaur am I? So I would have to say I'm a brontosaurus, 100%, because they're just like really gentle creatures, and they just kind of like sit around all day and, eat snacks, and I feel like that's relatable. Next question, what spirit animal am I? So first up, I think this question is, I'm going to rephrase it. I have heard from people that the term spirit animal is cultural appropriation, and I want to be sensitive to that. So let's just say, what animal is the embodiment of me? And I would definitely say a meerkat, because not everything has to have an answer. The next question is, who is a widely loved celebrity that you're not into? Kate the Great asked me this question, and let me tell you, she's trying to get me killed out here because my answer is Taylor Swift. Without getting into too much detail for fear of being murdered by her fans, I will just say I have been a huge Taylor Swift fan my whole life and have been to several of her concerts, and when her documentary came out, that really rubbed me the wrong way, and it was very clear to see someone who is so completely out of touch with reality. Just the staggering amount of sort of like blind privilege I saw really turned me off. I don't know her personally, obviously, so she might be a really wonderful human, but just really rubs me the wrong way. The next section's all about my career, which I was really interested. There were so many questions on my career. What did I study in college? So I went to NYU, and I went to their Tisch School of the Arts, and I studied musical theater at their former musical theater program called Cap 21. I did that for 2 years, and then I realized musical theater wasn't for me. And I also just hated that program because my teachers were really awful. The program leads were really awful and mean. And I really didn't like pretty much anyone that I went to school with. So I transferred within NYU, and I went to the Gallatin program, which is their school for individualized study, and I created my own major and graduated from NYU's Gallatin School in 2012. The next question's what I do for work and how did I get started there? My life has taken many very interesting turns. I pretty much have stumbled upon every job in my life just by sheer happenstance, and basically the short answer is I am in charge of business development at the world's largest entertainment marketing firm. So we do a ton of movie trailers, movie posters, which are called key art. We do social media campaigns. We do experiential events, brand design and experience, commercial production, and everything in between. I'm a team of one, so it can be pretty lonely at times, but it's great. I love my boss. He's the CEO of the company, and he's just such a great dude. I got started there super randomly. I never meant to go into the sort of film side of or marketing side of the entertainment industry. It's really through way of sales. After, realizing I wasn't meant for musical theater, I kind of did bartending, and I was a cocktail waitress for a long time in New York. Lived in New York for about 8 years. I started working at a commercial production company, and I was just their office manager. That never really fit. 2015, I moved to LA, and I got a job at a technology company, a startup, and I met my best friend Matt there. Really learned how to get a solid work ethic at that company, and it was an absolute nightmare. The CEO was a terrible, terrible, terrible person. I really learned how to have a strong work ethic, and that startup culture of just working 7 days a week, in your sweatpants, head down, so busy, really sort of set the tone for my success later in life. Once I realized that was not for me, I got a job selling sustainable water technology. And that's when things started clicking for me. I started realizing I was the top seller at the company. I was crushing it in sales. It came really naturally to me, and that's when I sort of realized what I was at least good at. You know, sales isn't something that I am passionate about at all, but I'm really good at it. Was there for a few years selling these sustainable water refill stations to hotels, schools, gyms, corporate offices, etc. And then after a few years there, I realized I was still really unhappy, wasn't sure what to do. The financial opportunity just wasn't what I wanted it to be. Through my best friend from college, through her husband, I got a job at a digital ad tech company in sales, and that definitely wasn't for me. I was only there for like 4 months, 6 months maybe. It ended up actually being a really good thing because the digital ad tech company was actually sort of like under the parent company of the entertainment marketing firm I work at now. So my current boss actually reached out to my management team and asked if anyone would sort of be a good fit for a right-hand man for him. And I interviewed and I got the job, which was great, especially having never worked in the entertainment marketing industry before, never having worked in business development, only sales. So I took a chance and it worked out. I've been there for almost 2 years now and I love it. It's great. The next question is what my dream job was growing up and how did that change? So like I said, I studied musical theater and I really just realized I didn't like such a competitive cutthroat culture, which is funny because sales is inherently competitive and I am a competitive person, but not like inter-team competition. When you're in a musical theater conservatory, you know that you and like everyone who looks like you basically are up for like the same roles. You'd all be competing against each other. I also just really didn't like that everyone I went to school with had to like outdo each other. Everyone had to be like the loudest singer, the boldest personality in the room, and I'm a bit more introverted, so I just never really felt like I fit. But I always knew that I wanted to be on camera in some way, shape, or form, some type of performing or hosting. As you can see now, I figured out YouTube was the perfect medium for me, and it just took a really long time to get there. And I didn't just stop when I left college. I was up for a ton of different roles on Broadway, Spring Awakening being the biggest one. Almost got that role. It was down to me and like 2 other people for literally 4 different roles for the replacement of the original Broadway cast. And I was just devastated that none of them went to me. And then I was up for Wicked, Legally Blonde, what was the Julie Taymor one? Spider-Man, a bunch of others, whatever. And I just never felt good enough. It just never felt right. So I tried it for a really long time. It wasn't just college. I mean, I was in New York for like 8 years hustling, trying to make it on Broadway, but was not my thing. I realized I really just connected to some of the rock music. And then I found YouTube eventually. So here I am and it all worked out. My friend Sarah Palmyra asked, how do you balance YouTube and a full-time job? That's super nice she asked that question, because I'm really terrible at it. I only post once a week, if that, and I feel like that's really bad. So I don't think I'm balancing it very well. I do just film on weekends. Today I'm filming on a Sunday, and then I edit on weeknights. So when I get off work around 6, I'll have dinner, I'll do my physical therapy, and then I will edit my videos and thumbnails and, you know, get the affiliate links and all that stuff. Okay, the next question, someone said, talk about the modeling thing. Oh boy. All right, so if you don't know, there was this trend on Instagram a few weeks ago or months ago, I don't know, time. It was show me a pic of, and your followers would ask you to show a pic of something. And someone said like show me a picture of like every step of your career. I had done a lot of like really shitty, barely paid modeling throughout college. I was on the cover of romance novels, like I did some jewelry campaigns, some skincare and makeup campaigns. I did some really bad stock photography, like just really bad shit. I realized I'm definitely not a model. Like photography is not my thing. Modeling is not my thing. But there's some fucking hilarious pictures. So go to my Instagram. There's a highlight. I think it's called Show Me a Pic of, or Show Me Pics. Anyways, you can find the entire thing there, and it was a trip. I really threw myself under the bus and showed you like the most embarrassing aspects of my life. There are pictures of me like wasted at 21. It's a good time, so you definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. Last question under career is, what do you do when you feel burned out? In terms of like the day-to-day stuff, always take a hot bath, glass of wine, smoke some weed, you know the drill. Music is a huge form of therapy and release for me, so I always have playlists according to every single mood. Also, therapy. I have an amazing therapist, and I'm happy to talk more about that. No one asked me questions about therapy, but if you would like me to talk more about it, I'm happy to. And then beyond that, really try to figure out the source of the burnout and why. Is it at work? Due to workload? Can I get a part-time freelance assistant? You know, can I pass things off to other people? What can I cut out? So I, you know, instead of just kind of putting a band-aid on things and treating anxiety, I definitely try to locate the source of the burnout and figure out if there are solutions to not have that continue. The next section is about my personal life, and the person wanted to know where I live. Right now, where you see me, I'm in a town called Garberville, California, and this is my boyfriend's parents' kind of like second home, but normally this is rented out to Airbnb, so we don't get to stay here. So I'm not living right here. Normally, I live in Berkeley, California, in the Bay Area, and we're just living with my boyfriend's family for 2 years while we can save up money for a down payment on a house, because it seems like I'll be able to work from home for the foreseeable future. And then we're going to save up and eventually buy a house back in LA. The next question is, how did you and your boyfriend meet, and how long have you been together? Jon and I met on August 10th, 2015 in LA, and we met on Tinder. It's actually a really funny story to me. I was just like fed up with all the dumb Tinder dates in LA, a lot of like really fucking annoying actors, and not every actor is annoying, but there are a lot of annoying actors in LA. And Jon just seemed different. He was in 18 Delta in the Army Special Forces. He was a Green Beret. And I was like, well, I've never dated anyone in the military before. I always go for musicians, and that never works out very well. So figured I'd give him a shot. But I thought he was like a little too hot. And I thought he would be kind of a dick, you know? I was just like, oh, if he's that good looking, like, he's gonna be such an asshole. So I was actually gonna cancel on him. And I like went to the hospital because I thought I was really sick. And I was like really sick for a week, couldn't figure it out. It was probably just a virus or whatever. But I told him on Tinder that I was like just getting out of the hospital, like, yeah, I can meet you for dinner tomorrow. And it like totally freaked him out. But he met with me anyways, and I decided to just give it a shot. He was the only guy who wanted to get dinner and not just drinks. So I was like, whatever, you know, free dinner in Silver Lake, let's do it. I think I blacked out that night. Like, I barely remember it. It was so great. So here's the interesting part. The day after our date, Jon deployed to Morocco for a little over a month, and I was like, I'm never going to see this guy again, right? Like, I thought he was like making it up. He was like, oh, sorry, I have this date and like gonna go to Morocco, like see you never. But we actually ended up talking every single day on Snapchat. And when his deployment was done, he flew directly from Morocco to my apartment and stayed with me for a week, and the rest was history. So yeah, we've been together for 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 6 years. How long have we been together? 5.5? We've been together for 5.5 years. The next question is, what do you look for in friendships? Someone who just accepts me for me. Like, it's kind of hard for me to open up and show my true personality in front of people. I can be a little bit reserved at first, but then once I have relationships with them, I'm like super weird and like super fucking goofy, and I have like gross like 10-year-old boy humor, but it kind of just takes a while for me to warm up. So, you know, someone who just like makes me feel at ease and comfortable with who I am. I spent all of my high school totally being like ridiculed just for being kind of like a weird person. And I just remember so many girls in high school being like, you're so weird. And that always really stuck with me, like feeling like an outsider and not feeling accepted. So coupled with the fact that I'm an only child, and I really didn't form many strong relationships throughout middle school and high school because I went to a school, private school in Connecticut that I hated. Really didn't like a lot of people there. And then I went to NYU, and I still only have one friend that came out of it, but she's my best friend, Danielle. And so I'm super grateful for her. But, you know, I really have just like a handful of close relationships, and it's kind of hard for me to like really form that bond for whatever reason, but I'm sure my therapist could tell you more. The next question is, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? And first, I just want to highlight this blush, even though I've shown it before, because it's the Airpress Carrot Color Pot, and it needs more love on YouTube. So check that out. So when I'm 36, I'd like to probably have a family by then. I'm not like someone who's ever wanted kids. I don't like babies. I'm an only child. I didn't grow up with any like real cousins I was close with, so I'm kind of terrified of having a family and getting married. I also have like a lot of kind of fucked up shit in my past with my parents, so all of that kind of scares me, but I do think that I want a family, and you know, hopefully Jon and I are living in a house we love. My dream would be for us to have like maybe a house in Palm Springs and then a condo in the arts district in LA, or a house in LA and then a little condo in New York, something like that. I hope that I'm still at my current company, and I hope that by that point, in like 5 years, I'm hopefully like VP of business development. That would be really cool. Or wherever I am, I hope I'm just still working for my current boss because he's great. Yeah, hopefully, you know, have some properties I love, have some family. Hopefully Thumper's still with us at that point. And hopefully I'm still doing YouTube and I'm able to have like a really good side hustle from that. Oh, and also I really hope that my chronic pain is solved within 5 to 10 years. That would be great. The next question is, what brings you joy? Like a good drink, good music, and good ambiance. Ambiance is a huge thing for me that brings me joy, which is one of the reasons I love being here so much. You know, whether it's a fireplace or, you know, a view of something or being in nature or a bunch of candles, ambiance is just so huge for me. And so like a good ambiance really makes me feel joy. Thumper also makes me feel joy, and I will show you Thumper at the end of this video. So if you haven't seen my dog, don't worry, you will. Traveling brings me joy, being outside, being with friends, sunshine, warm weather. That's my shit. Oh, the next question's so good. What's the best gift you've ever received? So Jon started out our relationship like the worst fucking gift giver in the world. Like, he deployed to Afghanistan for a year on a combat deployment, and I remember like he got me a gym membership, but not to just not to like a nice gym, to a rock climbing gym. And I'm not the kind of person who A, is athletic, B, coordinated, C, strong, or D, independent. So the fact that he thought I would want to go to like a rock climbing gym alone and like look like an idiot, it was just hilarious. He also that year while he was deployed, I think he bought me an electric toothbrush. He's really improved since then. Probably the best gift I ever got was when he surprised me with a trip to Tulum a couple years ago with our friends. That was sick. All right, I'm gonna move on to eyes, and this is a new product to show you, the Danessa Myricks Color Fix in Celebration. I'm gonna show you what it looks like on the back of my hand a little bit more intensely than the way it looks on my eyes. I wouldn't really apply it like that heavy-handed, but it's described as like a chestnut brown with some shimmer. But I think you can see on my hand it's actually quite a bit more gray taupey brown. I'm gonna take that on my finger. The next question is, oh, there's a plane. How do you spend your free time when you're not working? Filming YouTube. That's pretty much like the only time that I have. I also like to watch movies. I love watching, you know, during the pandemic, I like watching concerts on YouTube, but normally I would really like to... Hi. Sorry, I don't know where I was. My boyfriend's dad just walked in. Anyways, I watch a lot of YouTube. I film a lot for YouTube. And then I also really like to watch movies. I love concerts. I can't wait until the pandemic's over and I can go to a concert again. Also really love movies. I love just hanging out, having a good cocktail, listening to some good music. If I can be near like a hot tub, count me in. If I can travel, that's what I'm all about. But it's, you know, pretty much things that bring me relaxation. Also, in a normal world, going to bars, one of my favorite activities for sure. That's a dog. Do you see Bijou? Bars are just such a wonderful way to blow steam. I love, trying a new cocktail spot with friends, sitting in like a dark bar late at night with like an old fashioned or like a booze forward drink, and the music's just right and it's not too loud and the ambiance is good. Like, what more would you want in life? All right, the next question is, how do you become a better person? The way you speak makes you sound like you're constantly developing your personal style and interests, which is what I aspire to. Wow, that is super nice that someone thinks that I'm trying to be a better person. Yeah, I am definitely trying. I try really hard, but I never know if I'm succeeding, so that's really nice to feel kind of appreciated. This is super morbid. I think a lot of this has to do with a fear of dying. I don't want to be on my deathbed one day and have a lot of regret that I didn't learn something, that I didn't try to get a new skill, that I didn't do this, do that. And so I do feel like I'm trying to be a better person. I want people to remember me as someone who was a good person and who tried in life. And yeah, I realized like I wasted my 20s doing nothing, having shitty jobs with people who didn't value me, in shitty relationships with people who didn't value me. And a lot of that trauma didn't start really unfolding until later in life when I went into therapy. And so now I think knowing like what I like in life and what matters to me and what my values are, that has kind of shaped the way that I want to be as a person. And thus I do want to kind of do the hard thing and read books about white supremacy and how to dismantle it, or, put in work in therapy, because I deserve the best and the world deserves the best and my family and friends deserve the best. So yeah, I think, you gotta put in every ounce of effort that you have into what you're doing, and definitely developing my own sense of like self and worth and values is a huge part of that. The next question is a bit of a doozy, and it's, how does your chronic pain manifest? I just realized I'm actually going to put a little bit of this on my lower lash line while I talk about my chronic pain journey. In the summer of 2018, I had really, really bad back pain. Kind of like woke up one morning, seemingly after I was lifting weights, and all of a sudden I like couldn't walk. I couldn't straighten up. I couldn't do anything. And I was like that for like a week, and it's been an issue ever since. Throughout the years, I've had 12 different physical therapists. I have uncovered through tests a bunch of other injuries, like I have a herniated disc on L5-S1. I had 2 hip labrum tears, one of which I had surgery for. My hip surgery was December of 2019, a few months before the pandemic hit. And none of the treatments, have really worked. I had epidural steroid injections that worked really well for like 3 months and then went away. And I just have so much pain and stiffness on my lower right back area. And I also have a really hard time gaining muscle. And there's just a lot of indication that there might be something beyond just the physical. So now I have an appointment with a rheumatologist. I'm going to try acupuncture because I do cupping. I do so many different things. And I'm really compliant with my physical therapy and have been for 3 years. So, I've gotten a lot of amazing suggestions from people. I'm about to read the mind-body prescription. And if you suffer from chronic pain, definitely check that out. And I've switched to an anti-inflammatory diet, which is really difficult for me because I'm a picky eater. But like I'll do anything to try to solve, that's my boyfriend. I'll do anything to try to solve my chronic pain. The next question is, what first kickstarted your love of makeup? I actually can't remember. So I can't answer this question. I just remember that I was always obsessed with it from day one. I was the kind of person who played with Barbies, and makeup was just always a part of everything I thought about and wanted to play with. The next makeup question is, if you could use makeup products from only 2 brands, one high-end and one drugstore, what would they be, and what are your most loved products from them? The 2 brands that are my favorite, one high-end and one drugstore, and my favorite products from them. Very easy. The high-end brand would be Fit Glow. Their packaging to me is not super cute. Like, it's not like hourglass packaging or anything like that, but their products are the best of the best in my opinion. And, they're pretty expensive. Most of their products are like in their 30s, sometimes like $40-ish, which is really high end. But to me, nothing really performs as beautifully or feels as good or looks as good. So Fit Glow is definitely the high-end one I would pick, and I would say my favorite products are obviously the lip serums, definitely the concealer. You have to try both of those if you haven't. And then also really love their Lumi Firms, which are their like cheek face products, and also their lip liners are bomb. The drugstore brand I would pick is definitely ColourPop because there's so many products from them I love, and they have such fun colors. And I really feel like they're kind of on top of trends. I have my own issues with them in terms of the fact that they constantly discontinue their best products. But anyways, I would definitely say ColourPop. My favorite products are their Pretty Fresh Concealer. I love using that all over the face. It's just fantastic. I would consider that like a high-end concealer formula. And then their Super Shock Shadows are some of my favorite eyeshadows of all time. And yeah, they're incredible. The next question is, what brands are doing innovative and cool things? I actually don't know the answer to this question, and I'm super embarrassed because I should know. Leave me a comment below if you know of brands that are doing really innovative and cool things. I don't know what really counts as innovative. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. And then the next question I also can't answer. What's your favorite makeup application tip? I feel like I don't use any application tips. I just kind of like slap it all on with my hands and like pray it works. Skincare product you can't live without. I think in terms of like the feeling of it, my favorite product would actually be like an oil cleanser. I just always hated growing up, like oil cleansers were not a thing, at least where I grew up. You just had your face cleanser and it never took off makeup. I feel like I didn't discover oil or balm cleansers until I was like 25. And that's when my acne got a lot better because I actually was able to remove the makeup and sunscreen on my skin. Okay, so I gotta keep doing my makeup. I keep forgetting. I'm gonna show you another new product, which is the Chanel sort of like glitter eyeshadow in New Moon. I mean, oh, buddy. I was hoping this would be a dupe for Hourglass Ray, but it's not. And Chanel also, you know, has their own issues with inclusivity, so not exactly a dupe anyways, but it's this beautiful kind of like pinky nude tan champagne taupe. The next question is, if you could only wear one brand of makeup for the rest of your life, what would it be? In a world where we're not talking about inclusivity, it would certainly be Hourglass, because every single product I have ever tried from them has become an instant favorite for me. But I'm not buying from them anymore. Instead, I would say probably Fit Glow. You know, Fit Glow really just checks all the boxes for me. I also really love their team. They have a really incredible concealer shade range for being like a clean beauty and an indie brand. They have great representation on their social media, super nice to work with, generous with PR and paid campaigns. Their products are fantastic. Like, I think Fit Glow's it. Next question is, what's your favorite lip balm? And that's also a tough one because I have so many lip balms. At night, I love the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask in Berry, but I'm also now obsessed with the Image Skincare Hormetic Lip Conditioner. It smells like creamsicles, and it's like thick and juicy, and it like fills in your lip lines. Oh my God, it's amazing. Also, obviously obsessed with the Fit Glow Lip Serum in Night, which is their clear one. Also been obsessed with the Indeed Labs Volumizing Lip Treatment. That one's so good. And then the last one is, of course, my beloved, my favorite lip balm of all time, the Bite Agave Lip Mask in the original formula, not the new one, which is complete trash. The one with lanolin and beeswax. Do I have any makeup goals? And I'm gonna try not to be like gross while I'm curling my eyelashes and making weird faces. Oh, too late. My number one makeup goal is to learn how to do eyeliner, like a good, subtle, thin, winged liner, like black liquid liner. That's my number one makeup goal. That's like all I care about. The next question is, what's your favorite brand? And I think that I answered that with Fit Glow. So now we'll move on to the section about inclusivity. Love that there were so many questions about this. How do you decide what brands you still support? Weighing issues like sustainability, inclusivity, cruelty-free, etc. That's a really fantastic question. I pick one area of figuring out what brands to support. So if I had to look at like sustainability and inclusivity and cruelty-free status and all of that, I would be overwhelmed and I would never buy from anyone. So instead, I've really just been looking at inclusivity as, you know, what are my personal values that I care most about? And inclusivity is certainly one of them. So that's the one that I pick and that I try to look at the best. So then when it comes to inclusivity, and I don't want to make any mistake here. I am not perfect. I am figuring this out as I go. I am making mistakes and learning from feedback. But what I'm trying to do when I look at brands is the first obvious one is shade ranges. Like, what products are they creating? Do those products work on a wide variety of skin tones? Even not just complexion products, do their blushes show up on darker skin tones? That kind of stuff. Then what's the representation like on their social media, on their website? Do they show models with different skin colors? Are they only showing women? You know, like what's the representation look like? And then beyond that, on the website, like what's their brand design? Is everything like beige and white? Or are there different colors? And what's their brand messaging? Are they talking about Black Lives Matter and what they're doing to uplift Black voices and make space for them in the beauty industry? What's their messaging? So those are all of the different things I look at. But if you have other criteria that you think I could look at as well, please let me know. I'm always open to feedback. Someone else said, this is probably the most complicated question, what brands are problematic? And I would say nearly all of them. The brands that I'm currently not buying from are Hourglass, Ilia, Kosas, Drunk Elephant, and RMS. I could create an hour-long video about why, but I have answers with links and resources saved on my phone for every single one of those. So if you want to know why, shoot me a message on Instagram and I will give you the receipts and everything you want to see. You can go to the highlight called accountability on my Instagram page to kind of see what the conversation is about those brands. And for more detail, just shoot me a message and I'll send you like the whole shebang. And there are so many examples of like overt racism from a lot of these brands. I can give you a ton of resources, but again, I could spend an entire video on that. We're getting close to the end, I promise. What brand was the hardest to give up and why? I think you already know. Hourglass, as I use their mascara because it's the only one I have with me on this trip. I'm sorry. Hourglass, because their products work so well for me and they just made me so mad that it would be really difficult to find a way to even justify supporting them. They're back. There they are. Obviously, everyone knows I'm obsessed with Hourglass because the next question is, have you found a dupe for your favorite Hourglass blush? Yes, I have. I'm so excited. So as I film this video, I am planning and actively purchasing dupes for every single beloved product from problematic brands. So I'm duping the Hourglass at Night blush, the Scattered Light eyeshadows, the Kosas liquid eyeshadows, ton of other products I'm finding dupes for so that I can have better alternatives to show you guys, and I'm going to do an entire dedicated video on duping my favorite products from problematic brands, so stay tuned for that. Now for a lip, I think I'm going to go with Rowan Remy, and then I'll talk about Thumper. Thumper. Khaki says, please show Thumper in a video. Will do, girl, I got you. Hi, Thumper. Oh, big stretch. Hi. Hi, sweet boy. Hi, buddy. What are you doing? Is that my good boy? You're so cute. You're so cute. Who's my good boy? Who's my good boy? The next one's, how did you and Thumper meet? Thumper is John's dog originally, and now he's my son. John found Thumper overseas in Afghanistan on deployment in 2012. He was a little puppy, little nugget. And he worked with an incredible organization called Puppy Rescue Mission, which helps soldiers bring home the dogs that they fall in love with, who end up being their service animals. And Puppy Rescue Mission helped John raise money to bring Thumper home. So shout out Puppy Rescue Mission. You guys are amazing and you're doing incredible work. Please donate to them if you're looking for a great organization to support, to help, you know, soldiers bring their fur babies home and also to save those animals from certain death. John found Thumper in 2012, so we think he's 9 years old. What's his star sign? Oh my God, John's crawling on the floor because he's trying to walk. That's so funny. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, ah! There he is. Wait, come here. I'm talking about Thumper.
Don't know what that has to do with me.
It's John.
Don't look at me. Too beautiful.
Okay, I just Googled it. We think Thumper was born sometime in October, so I'm gonna say he's a Libra, but I don't know because I don't actually know when he was born. Why did you name Thumper Thumper? So this was John. John named Thumper after a grenade launcher. Fun fact. Next, would you get another dog? Technically, we're watching another dog right now. We've been watching John's parents' dog, Bijou, since we moved in August. And we are also thinking about getting a puppy, hopefully through Puppy Rescue Mission. Does Thumper need godparents? Because Virginia and Trevor volunteer. Yes, absolutely. Thumper always needs some solid godparents, and Virginia, we accept you officially. You and Trevor are in for life. Okay, so I just zhuzhed everything up. That's it for all the questions. I hope you enjoyed this and you had fun learning a little bit about me and my life. If you have any other questions, let me know and I'll answer them in the comment section. And I also hope you really enjoyed seeing Thumper because he's everything to me. So I hope wherever you are, you're happy and you're healthy, and I'll see you next time.